Hello and welcome to the Python tutorial series. My name is Lari. In the previous session, we have talked about the object-oriented programming concepts, and we have seen that what is data hiding, abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. So I hope all the concepts are clear. In this session, I'll talk about the inheritance and how to implement the inheritance through the program. In Python, we will see with the examples. So first, understand what is the inheritance. We know that the inheritance is one of the key feature of the object-oriented programming. So the mechanism of creating a new class from an old one is called inheritance. Okay. And the old class is referred as parent or base or superclass, and the new class is called child or derived or subclass respectively. What is the most important feature of the inheritance? So the most important feature of the inheritance is code reusability. What is the mean by code reusability? If you have defined one class with the name of A, and if you have some definition and some logic into it, and that performs some operation, so you can define a new class, for example B, by using this class A that is in existence. So you don't need to write those logics and those operation that you have already declared. So you can use and you can reuse those methods in class B. So the main benefit of inheritance is code reusability. Okay, let's implement the concept of inheritance through the program. So I will take the class name as ABC so that you can understand the inheritance in a very easy way. You can take the class name as a student, employee, and whatever the name you want. So I just want to explain the concepts of inheritance and how to implement in the code. So that's why I will take the class name as ABC. So first of all, see what is the syntax of inheritance. So inheritance, first of all, you will write the class, then your derived class name, and within a parenthesis, you will write base class name by from which you want to inherit and from which you want to create a new class. So let's create one class with the name of A here, and I will create one method inside it that is definition m1, and inside it I will print something that is I am m1 from A. Now this class can have a many number of methods, so I'm just going to explain the concept. That's why I'm taking only one method here, and from this class I'm going to derive one child class with the name of B, and that syntax, as you can see, so here I will write A. So whenever you will write like this, I'm not going to write anything inside this class and I will pass it. What will happen if you do this? Then in place of creation of the object A, I'm going to create the object of B. So you know that how to create the object, and from B I will call this. This is your class, and here the B's object. So here I will write small b and B dot, and as you can see that it is showing as a suggestion that you can call M1. So as you can see that M1 is not a member of B, but you can call M1 by the object of B. Why? Because you are performing the inheritance. So this is the beauty of inheritance, that you can reuse the code of that is already defined by some other class. And so we say this is a parent class and B is the child class, and we are creating the object of child class and we are calling the method of this class. So this is called inheritance. This is called simple inheritance. So in inheritance, child class can have the functionality and the feature from the parent class, as well as it can define its own functionality and its own features. It can have the functionality of the A, means the parent class, as well as it can have its own functionality. For example, I'm going to define one more method that is called M2, and here I'm going to write I'm M2 from B. So if I define this one, then this class will have two functionality, two behavior. One is M1 that is coming from the parent class, that is A, and another one is the method that is defined by B itself. So if you create an object of the child class, you can call both functionality, that is B.M1 and B.M2. Just look at here, and if I execute this, then you can see that we are getting output as I am M1 from A and I am M2 from B. So this is called a simple inheritance mechanism. So few things that you need to remember and few points that you need to remember. So let's see one by one all the points and try to implement those things and try to understand those concepts by using the code. The first thing is Listen very carefully. The point is the derived class inherits some or all of the members. Members means the properties from the base class. Why I'm saying some or all? Suppose you have created one function that is private. So this private member is not accessible outside of the class. So it means this member will not be inherited to the class B. So that's why we say that the sum or all. So if you define all the method as public, then it will be inherited. And if you define any member means the variables and the methods that is private, so private members are not inherited by the child class. So if I try to do so, and if I try to access by using by the B's object, that is b.m1, so I will get error here. As you can see, attribute B object has no attribute, that is m1. Why? Because m1 is private and private members cannot be inherited and private members cannot be accessible. So this point you have to remember. Next point is inheritance implements the is a relationship. So what is mean by is a relationship? To clarify this point, I will create a class with some other name. So I will create a class with the name of animal, and here I will create one behavior of the animal, that animal can talk. So here I will write animal talks. So from this class I can create any animal. So suppose if I create an animal that is dog, that inherits animal. So now you will say that dog is a type of animal. So this establishes the is a relationship. And if you want to create, just listen this point very carefully, if you want to make any class as the existing class, the feature as the existing class, we use the inheritance. So we can read it as dog is a type of animal. So if you want to create any class that should be a type of particular class, then we implement or we use the inheritance. So in so the dog will have the method, the functionality talk, and here you can call this dog by using the dog object. So here I'm going to create one object of the dog by using d is equal dog. Okay, and I will call the method as d.talk. Let's execute this one, and you can see animal talks. So this establish is the relationship. It means we can create any class that is the type of animal. So by using by using the inheritance, by using the inherit the feature of the animal to that class. So if you want to create another class that is the type of animal, then you will write class. For example, I'm creating a class cat, and I want that this class should be a type of animal, then I will write animal. Okay, so this class is also a type of animal. I will pass it, and to call the method talk, I will create an object of the cat, and after that I can call t.talk. Let's execute. Okay, so animal talks, that is coming from the d.talks, and this is the animal talks that is coming from c.talk. So I hope the point is clear, that it establishes is a relationship. The next point is a superclass defines a general set of functionality, whereas a subclass defines the functionalities specific to them. Okay, so if you want to implement this point, then you have to understand the polymorphism, and that is called method overriding. What is a method overriding? Suppose this is functionality, this is a behavior that is defined for the animal. So every animal will talk, but we know that animal and every animal talks in a different way. Dog talks in a different way, cat talks in a different way. So this is the generalized form, this is the generalized definition that is defined by the parent class. And if any child class wants to define the specific definition, then that child class can define its own specific definition by using the same method, same behavior. So this is one example of the polymorphism. So I will explain this in the next session, that what is the polymorphism and how to implement this point. But understand this one. That a superclass defines a general set of the functionality, whereas the subclass defines the functionality specific to them. Okay. And in other sense, we can say that inheritance in Python builds a hierarchy of the classes, and they support the concept of the classification. Okay, so this is the inheritance. This is the simple inheritance definition and the points that you need to remember. I hope the inheritance is clear, that how to create a new class with the help of old class. So still, if you have doubt, then you can put your queries into the comment box. In the next session, I will discuss about the types of the inheritance, and there are so many things that I will discuss in the next session. So if you are new to this channel, please subscribe this channel, and if you are learning something, if you are enjoying this video series, please like and share the videos with your friends. Thank you. Bye bye.